Recap, day 15 of 50, streaming every single day at 11 a.m. Eastern time, excluding Sundays. So first question was really about projectability and if that's a great thing. And yeah, based off of height and weight, it basically tells, a college coach will tell you that, of course, if you are projectable to be able to play at that university. It's more or less just like, let's wait to make sure that that body starts to develop, put on some more muscle. We talk about social media and really about how social media can be used as a platform builder, and this will take time. So if we just start our junior year and expect it to grow by our senior year, that is not going to be the way that that works. We also talked about just the idea of overnight success. A lot of people will think someone that's way up here after 13 years of absolutely grinding in the trenches, that's an overnight success, which of course I do not believe in. Senior year, someone asked if they're a senior, can I help with seniors that late in the recruiting process? I've had a student in Washington State with 0 offers in March that had multiple offers by May. So yes, it is possible. And again, that is Washington State. We're not talking about Washington, D.C. We also talked about having goals to be able to have those high goals, reach for the stars. This was coming from a question that someone asked about shooting for JUCO, and in my opinion, you should be shooting for big dreams and goals. This is another example that I had from the previous day as well. If your son is sitting at a huge feast of a table and isn't willing to eat, even though he's hungry, this is not good, right? And this is kind of what lessons do. And again, 1 hour a week versus like 21 hours a week, if your son's able to put extra work in, it's going to be very, very obvious. And again, I talked about kind of like a cold plunge. When I tell myself I'm going to do something, just do the hard work now. It's not going to get any easier. This was a really good example of basically like let's say like a big league player that just never gets any better, isn't doing anything to get better. If you or your son is right there and is doing what the high school team is doing, he's probably going to get just as good as the rest of the high school kids. But if he's on this green trajectory right here, this is where he's able to see that separation between him and the rest of his teammates. One huge concept that we were able to unpack really is, hey, my son doesn't have enough time. And this was typically coming from parents. And this is where I kind of debunked that myth, because we all have time. It's really about the prioritization of that time, because we all have the same 24 hours. And if you don't believe me, Shohei Ohtani, Juan Soto, they have 24 hours as well. It really came down to a secondary question, which is not prioritizing, not necessarily the baseball season, but is really talking about the development post baseball season. And this was coming from another parent that also said we don't have time, but they're also playing football in the fall. And again, this development curve of just going from 100% before the football season starts to 70 to 20, and then that 20 is going to go back into the fall. This is where your son's never going to be able to really truly grow. And especially going from like that 30,000 foot view, this is where we're able to see the change in what we're doing. And really, this is where we create a game plan on an eligibility review, which is like a Zoom call. We also talked about camps and what that really means in the whole college recruiting process.